and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times, channel 276. And now the news in details. A wave of relief and jubilation swept through Nadi State on Monday as 100 school children abducted from St. Mary's, a private Catholic primary and secondary school in Papiri, Agwara local government area returned safely to their families after nearly 3 weeks in captivity. President Bola Tinubu welcoming the return of the 100 students immediately renewed efforts to secure the release of the remaining 115 pupils and their teachers, directing security agencies to intensify operations and ensure the safe returns of all the victims. St. Mary's, a private Catholic primary and secondary school in Papiri, was invaded on November 21, 2025, with the Christian Association of Nigeria claiming 303 students were abducted. By November 23, 50 of the abducted children escaped captivity and were reunited with their families. At least 11 Nigerian soldiers are currently being held by the military regime in Bobo de Solo in the southwest of Burkina Faso. They were captured after their aircraft conducted an emergency landing while violating Alliance of Sahel States airspace. This was confirmed by the Alliance of Sahel States in a statement shared on X by security analyst Brant Grant. President Bola Tinubu has called on all Nigerians to embrace patriotism not as a title or ceremonial act, but as a daily choice that shapes the nation's progress and global image. Speaking at the national program on My TV, on My Nigerian, My Responsibility, the president, who was represented by Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, emphasized that true patriotism requires individuals and institutions to take responsibility for the country's story, its development, and the well-being for future generations. Kikelomo Okiri has details.
Speaking at the event, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, highlighted the role of civic institutions, community leaders, and citizens in promoting accountability, ethical leadership, and responsible media consumption. He stressed that national progress depends on both visionary leadership and active participation from every Nigerian. The president emphasized that safeguarding the country requires more than weapons or infrastructure. It demands advanced technology, modern system, and well-motivated personnel who are equipped to respond to today's challenges. He says by strengthening security agencies with innovation and better resources, the nation is laying the foundation for a safer and more resilient future.
Understanding that the destiny of Nigeria does not rest in the hands of a select few in Abuja, but in the daily actions, words, and choices of over 200 million Nigerians scattered all around this country.
Deputy President of the Senate, Jibril Barau, says a strong tax security relationship will create a cycle of mutual legitimacy. He urged citizens to support the state through lawful contribution and the state to uphold its duty to safeguard communities while ensuring stability and respond swiftly to emerging threats.
State and local levels. 2. Pay your taxes where applicable. Taxes help the government provide services like roads, schools, hospitals, and security.
Also, the keynote speaker, Professor Umar Pati, the Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Kashere, Gombe State, underscores the nation's building is not the duty of a select few. It demands the participation of all organizations, public institutions, and everyday citizens rising to the task with clarity and purpose.
Campaign focuses on responsibility for community service. It should be able to reawaken the spirit of volunteerism and communal participation in our communities to promote growth at the grassroots.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, Nasir Bala Aminu, says the initiative championed by the organization stands out as an important reminder of what citizens-led institutions can achieve when they create genuine platforms for participation by encouraging leaders and communities to embrace a renewed culture of responsibility, routine engagement, and shared commitment to nation building.
This campaign emerged from the understanding that nation building is not the task of government alone, but a collective obligation and that rests upon each citizen, young or old, public or private, rural or urban.
It is clear that securing our nations goes beyond boots on ground. It is about modern tools and advanced technology and highly motivated personnel working with confidence and purpose. But beyond that, it's also about every citizen of Nigeria understanding their role in shaping the country's security and identity. As government invests in innovation and human capacity, citizens are being called to project responsibility, pride, and integrity in their daily lives. From the presidential villa in Abuja, I am Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News. Speaking at the event,
the federal government has launched a nationwide drive to sensitize Nigerians on the whistleblowing policy. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Finance, Raymond Omach, says the one-day program urges citizens to speak up, report financial wrongdoings, and help recover stolen public funds, strengthening the fight against corruption across the nation. Our Benin State correspondent Felicity Ndere reports that the exercise is expected to position the state as a leading example of transparency and accountability.
The sensitization program themed Assessment of Whistleblowing Policy Implementation in Nigeria. The journey so far focused on educating citizens about the importance of reporting financial wrongdoing promptly. Participants were reminded that timely information can prevent greater losses because, as the saying goes, a stitch in time saves 9, with the motto, if you see something, say something.
National reflection of how far we have come and where we must go in the fight against corruption.
In his welcome address, Raymond Omachi, Permanent Secretary, Special Duties, Ministry of Finance, stressed the importance of whistleblowing and the government's willingness to act on credible reports, noting that whistleblowers are fully protected under the national policy, a key tool in the fight against corruption.
The ministry is taking steps to educate Nigerians. This is the step they should do. A fight against corruption is not a one-person job. It is a fight for every one of us. We say the way to report is such that people will not know that we've even reported anything. So we are taking steps to protect those who are bringing these reports.
Representing Governor Hyacinth Alia, the Commissioner for Finance said the workshop aims to boost citizens' involvement in reporting financial malpractice, stressing that the fight against corruption is a collective civil responsibility.
Government money is not personal emolument. Your emolument is what you're paid. Imagine if you knew that others were watching you and this matter could be reported, whatever you're into could be reported anonymously, and that you could be held to account for your actions. It will reduce the level of graft in our system. It is okay to protect the whistleblower. The whistleblower should also note that it is an offense to maliciously send out a report that is wrong.
Adopted by the Federal Executive Council in December 2016, the whistleblowing policy combats corruption by detecting fraud, preventing financial leakages, and promoting accountability. Whistleblowers receive 2.5% to 5% of what was recovered, and incentives consistent recognition is key to encouraging reports of corrupt practices. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere, reporting for Global Television News.
The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party has deepened as the faction aligned with the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has announced plans to conduct state congresses and national convention to elect new party officials. The development further widens the division within the People's Democratic Party, which is already battling parallel leadership structures. Kabir Hassan completes the reports.
The factional board of trustees met at the Lifecam residence of the FCT minister, where its chairman, Mao Ohabunwa, outlined a roadmap to restructure the party from the state level up to national leadership. Ohabunwa stated that the faction is already constituting caretaker committees in states affected by internal dispute, ahead of fresh Congress and a national convention expected to produce new officials. He explained that the move is aimed at restoring fairness, strengthening internal party structure, and rebuilding confidence in the PDP's democratic process.
Like I said, we're also making meaningful progress in organizing affected states, including the constitution of credible caretaker committees to prepare the ground for transparent congresses and subsequent convention process.
The BOT also pledges total support for Abdurrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee, insisting that the party must be run strictly in line with the Constitution and established guidelines. Ohabunwa emphasizes the Board of Trustees has a moral responsibility to stabilize the party and guide it away from divisions, urging members to remain united as reforms deepen across states.
We're going to work with this NWC. We're going to encourage them. We're going to support them to ensure that the right things are done and that things will be done in line with the law and the guidelines of our great party, PDP.
The PDP crisis intensified as rival bloc aligned with Oyo State's Governor Sheyi Makinde held a separate convention in Ibadan, producing its own national chairman. The Wike group is currently in court seeking to nullify that convention. As both factions prepare for parallel activities, the battle for control of the PDP appears far from over. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities has given the federal government up to December 31st, 2025 to conclude its ongoing renegotiation with the union, warning that universities will be shut down indefinitely from January 2026 if the talks remains unresolved. In a communique issued on Monday after its 53rd National Executive Council meeting at the University of Jos and signed by its president, Muhammad Ibrahim, said the government has failed to show commitment to addressing issues affecting non-teaching staff. The union accused the government of sidelining its members in the payment of earned allowances in renegotiation process. Nigeria marks a major milestone in dermatological medicine as the Nigerian Skin Care Center unveiled 2 state-of-the-art laser medicine machines, one designed for acne treatment and the other dedicated to advanced scar remodeling, the first of the kind in Nigeria and across Africa. Samuel Odi reports for Global Television News.
The breakthrough launch signals a new era of high-precision, non-visible skin care solutions for millions battling with persistent skin conditions. MD and Chief Executive Officer of Niger Skin Limited, Dr. Bashir Malam, said the arrival of the machine demonstrates the organization's commitment to setting new medical standards. He noted that the technology will greatly enhance dermatological care, reduce treatment time, and offer safer alternatives for patients who have long struggled with chronic scarring and pigmentation challenges.
Are willing and really ready to help us, but of course there are limitations.
Taking the audience through the capacity of the equipment, Alex Bondo, the inventor of the technology, described the machine as a fusion of cutting-edge engineering and medical science. He explained that the laser for pimples targets inflammation at vascular levels, while the scar treatment laser restructures damaged tissue with extraordinary precision.
And it was the very first PICO in Sub-Saharan Africa. And now, tonight, thanks to Dr. D, we are going to launch the Accure. The name of the machine is the Accure. It's the very first technology worldwide able to treat acne.
On the underlying cause of pimples, Professor Ono Abel provided insight into why Eckers vascular remains one of the most common yet misunderstood skincare condition.
Pimples is one of the commonest complaints we get in the various skin clinics all over. Most of them are mild. However, no matter how mild they are, usually there's some accompanying psychosocial problems that make it a very important thing, especially among young people.
With the commissioning of these innovative machines, Nigeria takes a decisive step into the future of dermatology, improving access, raising clinical standards, and placing the country on the map as leaders of advanced skincare technology in Africa. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
The 60th anniversary of the Nigerian Navy Officers' Wives Association has ended with a carol night celebrating its annual Christmas carol service themed Glory to God in the Highest. Again, Samuel Odi reports for Global Television.
The colorful event drew families and senior naval officers, invited dignitaries and guests to an evening of gratitude, reflection, and hope for the nation. The atmosphere at the carol service was filled with warmth as NOAA members from across the country converged to honor the birth of Christ. Choirs and scriptural readers took turns leading the congregation in timeless Christmas melodies. Highlighting the spiritual significance of the season, the Vice President of NOAA, Fadake Oludude, who represented the National President of NOAA, Aisha Idi Abbas, reaffirmed the association's commitment to fostering unity, compassion, and family value within naval community. She emphasized that Christmas remains a reminder of God's love and a call to service, peace, and generosity.
The message of Christmas is urgently needed in today's world, a world wrestling with greed, hatred, vengeance, and hypocrisy. Now more than ever, we are called to be beacons of love and bearers of light.
The special guest of honor, Teresa Ibaz, encouraged naval officers' wives to stay in unity and love as they marked their 60th anniversary. The event also featured special musical radiation and presentation from different NOAA formations across the country. The 2025 NOAA Christmas Carol celebration ended on a high note with a collective chorus of Silent Nights, symbolizing peace, hope, and renewed faith as families look forward to a prosperous new year. Officials say NOAA will continue to champion community support initiative across naval formations as the festive season progresses. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, federal government reduces oil block entry cost to $3 million. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Come back from that short break, and in business news, federal government has unveiled a 50 million naira student venture capital grant for students across tertiary institutions. The grant is to promote innovation, research, excellence, and entrepreneurship. The government said it was targeting 250,000 students in the first cohorts, with other 100,000 already enrolled and receiving training in 1,620 centers nationwide. As the 2025 licensing round gets underway, the federal government has reduced the signature bonus from 10 million to 3 million and 7 million naira. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission disclosed these in an update on its website. According to the Commission, this was part of the government's effort to reduce entry barriers. Interested in one of the oil blocks listed from 2025 licensing round. And on the foreign scene, President Alassane Ouattara says Ivory Coast is a friend to all and an enemy to none after being sworn in for a fourth term as the country's leader. The 83-year-old was re-elected with nearly 90% of the votes in October 25 election, though turnout in West African nation was a relatively low 50.1%. Uyi Abomofuegbe has the rest of the story.
Chef d'État, ami de la Côte d'Ivoire.
President Ouattara was sworn in after elections in which his two main opponents were excluded from the ballots. The president, who has led Ivory Coast since a violently disputed election in 2010, vowed to loyally defend the constitution at his inauguration. Leaders from 11 African countries attended the ceremony at the presidential palace in the economic capital, Abidjan, as well as former leaders such as Niger's Mahamadou Issoufou. Former colonial ruler France, which maintains good relations with Ivory Coast, was represented by National Assembly Speaker Yael Brun-Pivet. The United States sent Jacob Hellberg, Under Secretary of State for Economic Affairs, who was due to meet with Ouattara in the afternoon. Ouattara's two main opponents, Laurent Gbagbo and Tidjani Thiam, were excluded from the ballot. Gbagbo due to a criminal conviction and Thiam over nationality issues. Neither politician attended the ceremony. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
And in sports, Nigerian Super Eagles final squad for the 35th African Cup of Nations in Morocco will not be unveiled until the Confederation of African Football deadline of Thursday, December 11th, even as the Nigerian Football Federation confirmed that the postponed national team pre-AFCON friendly match against Egypt will hold in Cairo on December 16th. Coach Eric Chelle said the final 25-man squad for the AFCON will not be released until Thursday as a Franco-Milian trainer finalized the eagerly awaited list. That's it on Global Television Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using that Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.